solo over things. Like if I'm giving you like an A set, like an A minor 7 chord, an A minor 7 chord, whatever, like I can play F sharp if I want.
Right.
And then I can play an F natural and B flat if I really wanted to. It works, kind of.
Right.
But it could be anything. I could also play F natural because I don't want to do Dorian. I want to play something different. So yeah, I guess for me, and this might be my classical brain, like, and I'm also, when I have these discussions, I'm being ultra pedantic. If I'm talking to another person and we're humans, we're playing, I'd probably just say like, oh, we're like kind of like an A minor with like a B flat. Lady
right, and that's typically how it would go in like a jam session.
I'm not just gonna say, oh, it's atonal, bro. Like, yeah.
Right,
sure,
right, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what I mean. Like when you said, like, if you were to be in a jam session, and you're like, dude, the piece is totally atonal, then they're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll play like
whatever.
Probably in the realm of serialism, right? If you're talking to like a classical musician. But I will say, in all honesty, and this is why I say I wish I was more prepared. I've spent like the last month trying to move like my entire room because I'm trying to move to Germany and start my career there. I have like a few job offerings to go sing some operas. I know, kill me, sue me. Yeah. So I wish I had more time to sit down and bring you some scores and just be like, well, if we look at this together, the one that got me more, besides the atonal thing, was your, actually, it was a great transition, was the lo-fi talk that you had with the last person.
Okay.
Just because sometimes I feel like you talk with people, and you kind of like, and I find it weird because you do this so well when you debate people, where you kind of catch these super subtle nuances of when they're just trying to throw terms at you, and then they like move over shit like really quickly, and you don't necessarily like pay attention to what they're saying when if you like kind of hone in on it. I feel like you could like weed out like a lot of those people who maybe didn't practice. Like there was something you said.
No,
like,
this 100% happens, of course. But there's two things that are going on. This one, I have to be. Well, one, people could learn things in different ways, so I don't want to like jump down something that's like, oh, you use that term in a different way than I would use it, so I think that you're full of shit. So I want to be careful of that. And then two, also, it's fun to talk to music people, and I don't want to like fucking, if I'm bringing somebody on, I'm not gonna grill the fuck out of somebody, that can't explain to me perfectly, like what is the sonata form or what is the secondary dominant. I'm not gonna like fucking.
No, right. I'm not like saying you should like ultra critically like evaluate these people, but there's some things where I'm like. You should know that. Like if you like truly like even took like a Theory 1 music course, like you should fucking know that. Like the one of the things that I remember that got me, he was just like, oh man, and just the way like a 5 moves to 1, I don't know what it is, but there's something so drawing towards that. I'm like, well, it's called a leading tone. I mean, like I think
tritone, of course, yeah. Like,
right, and like the tritone and like how it pulls, right? Like you should kind of know these things. And like so it's some things like that was one thing. The other thing was he was talking about giant steps, and he said, when you're moving around the circle of fifths in thirds, then I'm like, then you're not moving around the circle of fifths.
Some people just, I understand, people do people things, sure. Okay.
Yeah, and then probably the last thing was just like saying like, you can get like so much out of lo-fi. I mean, there's like really good lo-fi out there, but it stops being lo-fi when it gets good enough. It starts being kind of like jazz / R&B / neo soul.
Well, that sounds a little bit genre elitist. I mean, like, I'm sure we could blend and bleed genres into each other or something.
Yeah, but when that's why I'm saying, like, in good faith, right? We're talking about just like regular lo-fi.
Hold on, wait,
click on the
1 second.
Okay.
Somebody said 5 to 1 is not a leading tone or a tritone, right? Or am I missing what's being said here? 5, not like the 5th degree of the scale, but a chord built on the 5th degree of the scale. So like in the key of C, your 5 chord is your G, your G, B, D, and on a dominant 7, which usually refers to the 5 chord with a 7th added. That 7th, the F natural, is going to be, I guess it's actually technically not a leading tone, it would be a tritone. The B to F is the forms of tritone there.
Right.
Your leading tone is the B, which is the third of the chord. But yeah, that's when he says 5. He doesn't mean like just the note G. He's talking about the whole chord built on the 5th degree of the scale.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not like reading chat. I'm super nervous. I have so many things that I've always wanted to talk to you about, but I'll be good and I'll stick to music.
You mentioned, so like, well, if something's good lo-fi, that means it's not lo-fi, okay? Like a guy that's a mass shooter isn't like a gun owner, he's a mentally ill person.
No. That's not what I'm trying to say. I more so mean what the guy was saying was just like, that there's so much like to explore in lo-fi and like new jabs or new jabs. I don't know how to say it. Yeah. Rest in peace to the legend. So, but like, it kind of like neglects the reality that like a lot of lo-fi is at best like 251s or like
Not even
1.625.
251s all the time. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
literally just like 2-chord vamps, basically. Yeah, a lot of
Right.
music are literally 2-chord vamps. Yeah, like minor
Yeah,
one
and so
to
he
minor
would
5 or something.
Right, and so he would say things like, "Oh, like this is like harmonically interesting," and something about like time feel, which, I mean, I get that time and like feel are like phrases, but you never like use them together or something.
Yeah. The thing that bothered me about that, though, is especially because I do have a small jazz background, as much as I didn't like playing jazz in college. And to say that there's any sort of like feel for like that when you're using like a programmed drums feels like if I were to say that in a serious ensemble, I would get like executed by the rhythm section or something. Or
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although nowadays they're starting to like play on pads and stuff. It's becoming like a little more acceptable, but like it's still not something that you would just throw out to like new sets of musicians or whatever. But yeah, I kind of had these problems. I honestly I didn't expect you to like write back or respond. So I was kind of like I just like hopped on the computer because I wanted to have this chat forever. But like man, I wish I could come back a little bit like with more examples. I haven't been prepared at all, and I've been moving for like almost a month now. Yeah.
Anything else you feel like I'm just so egregiously incorrect about?
Yeah, I remember one of the first times that you told me to fuck off. It was great. I loved it. I loved being stepped on. I remember you like played a blues scale, which of course the blues scale is like in every song, but like you very quite literally played it in like 5. You're like do 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 do, and I was like, that's take 5, and you're like, no, it's not, dumbass. That's like literally every blues song, and I was like, okay, fine, yeah, kind of, but like also, I don't know. You did play take 5, okay.
Okay. Wait, are you talking about the fucking?
No.
Okay.
It was before the whole Amogus meme.
Okay,
It was entirely before. But I prithee Destiny to let me come back on a little bit more prepared, so that I don't absolutely come to the table with nothing, because this feels like shit, if I'm honest.
Hey, listen, next time you'll be able to have more things. Somebody said, is Bela Bartok the only classical composer example you can give? I only reference Bela Bartok and Andrew Schoenberg.
Yeah, Schoenberg.
Schoenberg and Bartok are like the two. I think they both did serialism. I only bring them up when we're referring to serialism.
Yeah.
I never recommend these composers to ever be listening to.
Fuck no, okay? Fuck that music. I'm just gonna say it here, okay? Everybody can crucify me. Yeah, those are like the two most given examples when talking classroom,
Yeah.
I would say. All right. I hope we get to talk again. I know it's a little bit hard to get you on a call. Although that was surprisingly quick, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, just shoot me in whenever, okay?
Yeah, please. Do you mind if I
Shout
plug my
out your
channel?
stuff. Go for it. Plug away, dude.
All right. Everybody, follow Oatmilk90210 on Twitch. I know we hate that platform. Maybe I'll switch to YouTube. I'm a variety streamer, super tiny streamer. You don't have to follow. I won't annoy you in my Discords or anything. And I love you guys, okay? Even though, you know, Big Daddy D here might yell at you sometimes. I won't. I'll take care of you. I'll give you sweet forehead kisses. Thanks. Cool. I love you. I love everything that you do. Honestly, I thought your canvassing was super fucking cool, and if I was in the place, I totally would have joined. Like in the place too, monetarily. I know that you were like flying people out and shit. That was super cool. Yeah. Also, well, I won't say anything bad about anybody. But I love you. Take care. I hope to be able to talk to you again soon.
Yeah.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Absolutely. I'm always worried that I'll talk about something that I feel like I do have quite a bit of knowledge on. So like I feel like I know a decent bit about music, and I will, and I'm just like totally wrong. And then some guy that's like a fucking PhD, fucking counterpoint comp master is gonna like come on and be like, oh, you actually don't remember anything from music school. Like a fucking fraud. Thought Seeker's dissonant counterpoint part writing strategy basically to do the opposite of all. Is music theory just telling people how music should be played? No, music theory is a way to music theory is just a way to explain the sounds that we hear. That's all music theory does. It tries to say that like there are certain things that sound certain ways, and this is why. So that if you want to employ those things in other songs, like this is the thing. So like here's like a general like just like random like explanation. So like the second degree of like a minor scale has like a pretty sad sound. So if this is like a minor, that's like a minor one chord. If I play like if I play a 2, back to like my G here, I know that if I play like a D, it'll take me back to the G. From here to like. It just explains like why things sound the way they do. You don't. Like, it's not like when you're writing, you have to be like, does this work in music theory? Does it follow all the rules? Like you don't have to do that. It's just a way to explain why things sound the way they sound. That's it. Is there any music that is generated via theory? Yeah, you can use music to write like a whole fucking thing. If you really wanted to, just do it. Like, we could write like whole fucking orchestral pieces, just like we know the theory, we draw the chords, and we draw the notes. Wish there was new music theory for more of the new music like the Kendrick album. I mean, assuming that you know like any classical theory, you should be able to explain most of what's happening in modern music. Well, if you're intelligent, unless you're brain. Is the erudite talk happening? That was never happening. I don't know why I wrote that on my schedule. I think I suggested a date to her, and then we never agreed on a date. But I just like wrote it on my calendar. Sometimes I do that because people usually confirm. But she never did, or something. And I'm just
Obama.
How do people talk about resolving cadences then? Is it not just telling others how they should write and play? When a cadence just like firmly establishes you in a key. It's just a few chords that like show you like where you are. Very clearly an enemy has been slain. That's like 1, 4, 5, 1. It's like absolutely that's all cadences do. They just like establish like what key you're in, because there's what no one cares about this. Never mind. There's a thing called a tritone that when you hear this, your brain wants to hear it move in a certain direction, either in or out depending on the interval.
Sorry, buddy. I was weak.
Obama.
It won't happen again.
But I regret nothing.
You just want to hear that sound generally. I don't know if it's a Western thing or a human thing or what, but like typically you want to hear that move in a certain direction. And that's kind of like our guiding principle for older music. Modern music doesn't employ any of what I just talked about. It has absolutely nothing to do with modern music. Nobody uses tritones or dominant sevens or even writes like that. It's just not how modern music typically works. Unless you get into the more jazzy world. That last guy said he didn't think that he thought jazz was mostly non-functional. I don't know if I agree with that, but I also don't have the background to disagree. I feel like jazz employs a fuck ton of very complicated functional harmony. But I would have to go back. Like, I want to say that if we, so I don't. Where are my real jazz guys here? Because it's not me. Like, I've never soloed over fucking giant steps. But I think that if you go and you look at giant steps, if you were to like actually like write it down, like analyze it, I'm pretty sure all the chords in like giant steps are functional, right? Like you're always gonna have like a 1-4 or like a 5 to a 1, and then like your modulations are gonna make sense. There's not gonna be any random chords that are beyond analysis in giant steps, I think. But I would have to go and look. Maybe I could be wrong. Da no 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 no. No, I'm almost positive it's all functional. I'm almost positive. I'm going to look at it. Giant steps is just a bunch of 2, 5, 1. Yeah, I think so. But think you could pass the AP music exam? Today? I don't know, but I did 1 and 2 before, and I got, I think I got 5s on both? Oh, 4 on one and a 5 on the other. I think I got 5 on both, but I misspoke a little. It's a lot more modal than non-functional. Maybe the soloing is modal, but I'm not gonna try and start with this is just the